Hey, good morning, my dear friends. Hey, let's run down here. Whoa, I'm almost falling in the water. Let's get you in the water here and check out how the surf looks. I see a surf fisherman up the beach there. Hopefully he's catching some fish. Man, we've got a lot to talk about. That bluefin tuna went on a tear yesterday. We've got that information. Morro Bay albacore? Hey, we're going to talk about that. And where the heck was Sam De La Torre? We ended up doing tackle shop confessions at SoCal Wings. So Michael Limon could eat some chicken wings. We've got the surf report, the island report, some big yellows biting at San Clemente Island. And the long-range scene can't get any better. Whoa, that water's chilly this morning. Good morning, my friends. Let me set up for the morning briefing. It's coming up next. Buddy, before we get rolling here today, you can help the Freedman Adventures cause by purchasing a hat or some other Freedman Adventures merchandise right now. All you have to do is go to embroiderycreations.net and order some merchandise. It helps us keep the content headed your way. Deeply appreciate all your love and support. Thank you, and we'll see you soon. Good morning, my dear friends, and welcome to beautiful Surfside, California. Here in Southern California, a little bit foggy, but man, it's another beautiful day. I feel blessed to be standing here with you all, and can't thank you enough for all your great support. We have our merchandise up to par once again, so you can order a hat or a shirt, and we need your help here on the channel. That support means so much to us. Go to www.embroiderycreations.net and make a purchase this morning. Really help us a great deal. Whoa, that bluefin tuna got back on the bite again. We're going to have details on that. It chewed up a storm yesterday. And Morro Bay albacore, is that possible this weekend? Bob Osborne, dear friend of mine and a fisheries expert, says, I see a weather window, number one. I see some 60-degree water out there around 60 miles, and if you go out to 70 miles, it looks like 62-degree water. Perfect albacore conditions. Is some private boater going to go out there and make a catch? Let us know if you do. We're going to watch the long-range situation. It's been a spectacular start for the Independents out of Point Loma Sport Fishing on a 10-day trip. We'll cover the surf. We'll look at the islands where there were some big yellows taken out there at SCI, San Clemente Island, and so much more. You know what time it is. It's time for the morning briefing. Good morning, my friends. It was that good. Hey, is it really October the 1st? Man, where in the heck did this year go? It has zoomed by. The summer is gone, but we still have a lot of great fishing going on. And that bluefin tuna bite, well, it's inconsistent, but some days it bites nails. And it did that yesterday. We'll get into that and so much more. If you don't mind, hit that like button, share these videos with a friend, subscribe to the Freedman Adventures YouTube channel, and you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Apple Podcast, and Spotify. We deeply appreciate that. If you have tax issues, Tim Marquez is your man. Give Tim a call today, and for heating and or air conditioning needs, it's the one and only John Lopez from Efficient Heating and Air Conditioning. All right, let's go down the Baja Coast several miles, and I'm talking about hundreds of miles. We'll cover the long-range situation with you first of all. The Independence is on a 10-day trip right now. The Indy Shootout is what they call it, and they started that trip out with an absolute bang, catching copious amounts of big grade yellowfin tuna. The YFT are chewing up a storm for the Independence right now. It's been spectacular on that 40 to 80 pound yellowfin tuna. What a year it has been for the Independents and all the long range boys as they have been putting the wood to the fish. They also had mixed in there some really nice big grade yellowtail. Excellent start to the trip. Now, the long range situation in general, not only are you catching yellowtail and yellowfin tuna, but the wahoo bite has been really good. And they had some quality who on board the Red Rooster 3 yesterday. Tremendous fishing on that. just that wide variety of species. It's been biting all summer long, and now we're poking our noses into the fall, and it continues to bite really, really well. Nice wahoo fishing on the red rooster 3, and all the long-range boats have been in on this kind of fishing. It's been spectacular. We're on the Independence in April of 25 for a 5-day Freedman Adventures fishing adventure. It's going to be a lot of fun, and you can join us. Give Paulina a call today and jump on board the Independence. So some great long-range fishing going on. Now, if you're going to drive down to Mexico and go about 60, 70 miles, you're going to end yourself up if you go down the Baja coast in the beautiful coastal town of Ensenada, Baja California. A great place to hang out, to have some great meals, and the culture there is fantastic. And Dia de los Muertos is not that far away. I love being in Mexico for that festive celebration. It is really something else. Anyway, I digress. Let's get to the fishing down there in Ensenada. You get offshore, you can find the occasional bluefin tuna offshore, and there's even been an occasional yellowfin tuna. It's very difficult, however, offshore right now. It's been spotty. Maybe it's getting ready to turn back on again. And that is not to say that some guys go out and make a catch on bluefin, mostly in the 20 to 40 pound class, but occasionally bigger than that. Trolling the Mad Mac lures or throwing something like a Daiwa Sakana lure, a Colt Sniper. When you come up on a foamer, some guys have even been throwing surface iron like a Tatty 45 or a popper. Also works great. You get to see those bluefin blow out on your jig. That is always a lot of fun. But for the most part, that offshore stuff is tough, and the water is cooling down. And as it cools down, it doesn't affect the bluefin bite that much, but you can pretty much kiss that possibility of a yellowfin tuna bite this year goodbye if that water continues to plummet, which it normally does during this time of the year. Normally, it does, especially with a La Nina. La Nina spells cooler water, and that's where we find ourselves oceanographically right now. So once again, we'll watch it closely for you. That does not mean you're not catching fish in Ensenada, however. Good rock fishing. You can load up on copious amounts of nice lings. If you go down there to Santo Tomas, some nice vermilions, big reds, and all kinds of other bottom grabbers like bocaccio. You can load up on that. You can also fish bass and do pretty well sometimes on sand and calico bass. And those yellowtail still get up under the birds for that run and gun type of fishing. That is a lot of fun when you run on those fish. Man, I'll tell you right now, you run up on that stuff, your adrenaline starts pumping. You throw that Tatty 45 into a frothing area of yellowtail, and it's fun to take a wind on that jig and anticipate the moment when that yellow jumps on that iron and you are bit. Fun stuff down there in Ensenada. So you have all those different possibilities, with the most probable being the rockfish right now. Let's jump up here to Southern California. Boats from San Diego to Ventura are fishing bluefin tuna. Now, as you know, we just finished up a magnificent trip on board the Apollo. It was fantastic on so many different levels. The landing, I love Seaport. The boat, the Apollo's a mini long-range vessel. The people who came out for the trip, not even going to name anybody because they were all fantastic. The crew of the Apollo, absolutely wonderful. Way too much food in the galley there with shad, and also the fishing was spectacular. It took us a while to get on that fish, but boy, did it want to bite, and bite big time. 2 days ago, it was very tough fishing out there on the bluefin tuna area. I got the feeling, talking to several boats, that the boys just got off the fish, okay? And when I say that, what I mean is, if you're new to this game, those fish move. And they move as a body most of the time. It's not like 3 fish go over here and 20 go over here. It's just like the body of fish moves to an area that they find, more appetizing. Maybe there's more bait, the water temperature's a little better, the water's cleaner, whatever it is. And I think that's what happened 2 days ago. But the boys, as I said, they're really good at getting back on them. Got on them yesterday, and they put the wood to them with a lot of boats. Most boats, I would say, catching limits of 30 to 40 pound bluefin tuna. It really started to bite. Tuning up for our Amigo trip departure on Sunday night out of 22nd Street Landing. And I know most of the guys who are on that trip are listening right now. You want to have your 25 pound fluorocarbon for sure. in case the bite is finicky, like number 4 circle hooks. I'd have some bigger ones also, but you also want to have some 30, 40, and that should do you just right. 30 and 40 pound fluorocarbon. If you want, you can go up to the 50 and 60. It's rare that they bite that. Joe Martinez pulled that feed off on our Apollo trip, getting bit on a fly line bait on 60 pound. It's rare, but if you had 25, 30, and 40 pound fluorocarbon, you're going to be in really great shape. I will tell you that right now. The Highliner, I talked to Max just a moment ago, and Max said, Phil, we have a novice group of anglers on board here, and the fishing was fantastic. We limited out on bluefins and several other boats that we talked to. Limits of bluefin, fantastic fishing. The new low end, Sam De La Torre, what the heck happened last night with Tackle Shop Confessions? I'll tell you about that in a minute. But Sam's on the new low end on a 3-day trip, and they are putting the wood to the YFT, to the PFT, the bluefin yesterday. Outstanding fishing for the new low end, and everybody who was there really had a great day on that bluefin. Mostly 30 to 40, but you'll catch a couple fish that get up over the 100-pound mark. No question about that. So anyway, Tackle Shop Confessions, I always send Sam a message and I say, you good for Monday night? I'll see you then. This week, I didn't do that. And we got over to the store, and I think Sam had told me before he was going to be on a 3-day trip on the new low end. So I'm like, okay, no big deal. Michael Limon is here. He loves chicken wings. Let's go set up the show at the SoCal Chicken Wing joint next door. So we did that, and Mackie continued his on-camera performance. He was on with Danny Cadota yesterday. Did a fantastic job. Mackie's normally behind the camera, as you well know. I know Abe's going to love this because he's a huge Mackie fan. Mackie did a great job on the Danny Cadota show. Go back and watch that. That's a good one. And Jolene Thompson, fantastic lady angler, also joined Danny and Mackie and I. It was a fun time. She's out on the Freedom right now, and hopefully they're catching bluefin tuna. So really great stuff going on, no question about that. Highliner with a huge day. The Endeavor up there out of Ventura Sport Fishing to illustrate the point that Ventura can reach that fish easily, no problem at all. They had 48 bluefin tuna, and they lost another 2,168 fish. They had a lot of casualties, as it seems like is pretty typical on this bluefin. You know, it's not a huge grade of fish. I mean, historically, 30, 40 pound bluefin tuna, that is such a great shot. Such a beautiful grade of fish. But nowadays, you know, if they're not over 100 pounds, we're all like, oh, they're small. They're not small. They're nice fish. They're catchable, however, but you still will go through a lot. They have teeth. They'll chew you off. They pull pretty hard. You got to tangle. You got to get it out. These boys do a great job. I think the Endeavor, by the way, up there out of Ventura Sport Fishing has some open party bluefin tuna trips, 2-day trips coming up. You don't get to fish on the Endeavor very often. You might want to give the landing a call, 805-676-3474, and get on the Endeavor while you still have a chance. So really great bluefin tuna fishing yesterday. We'll see what today brings. Every day is different, and sometimes those fish just get up and move on you. So we'll keep our eyes on that. The nighttime bites, same kind of inconsistencies. It seems like a boat or two will have a school that sticks with them. They'll end up with 20, 30 bluefin tuna, while other guys are in that 0 to 10 range on the BFT at night. And depending on wind and current, you're going to use either a lighter or heavier kind of jig, like something around the 350. Those HD lures have been working really, really well. But we've seen them also on the rip roller type jigs, 500 gram. We had a lot of wind and current on that Apollo trip, and our lines were scoping out. So getting down deep fast and trying to stay vertical is super important when you're fishing that. Nothing less than 100-pound Spectra. 100 is just about right, by the way. Get any heavier than that, and your jig doesn't sink as efficiently as it does with a 100-pound Spectra. 200-pound bite leaders will do the job for you. If you're headed to Catalina Island, why not do it on the El Patron? She's beautiful. She's speedy. Great crew. 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. trips to Catalina Island. www.longbeachsportfishing.org. And if you want to go to Ventura Sport Fishing, yeah, the Island Spirit. Half-day trips coming up this week. They're fantastic. Daniel Hottaway, the captain and crew, are absolutely fantastical You're going to love a trip on the Island Spirit. 805-676-3474 or VenturaSportFishing.com. All right, let's go down and check out what is going on in our island situation. The Coronado Islands, what a year we had there, but the water is getting chilly there, and the yellowtail are getting lockjaw there, and they are saying, we are out of here, or we're not going to bite that. Well, picking and scratching a few yellows for most of the guys every single day. Maybe you'll catch a bluefin mixed up with it, and offshore you might see some BFT, but a lot of rockfish going on there right now. So the islands have slowed down. It may be over for the year, and it may not. I'm not counting it out, because sometimes when you get this cooler water, you'll start catching yellows in the deeper water on the Yo-Yo Iron. We'll just have to wait and see on that one. San Clemente Island, Ryan McAndless, pardon me, Ryan McAndless was on board, and he said they were fishing dropper loop with live squid and hammered out a couple of really gorgeous yellowtail. Check those forkies out. That is some big quality Guadalupe Island looking yellows on the dropper loop. Ryan said that they decided to venture off after that and see if they couldn't get a bite on the bass. They had pretty good calico bass fishing and sheephead there along the kelp, as you can see. Really nice there. And then they made some rockfish drifts and came up with lots of rockfish. At Catalina Island, we continue to see mostly rockfish out there. Pursuit, 22nd Street Landing, the El Patron out there fishing. A lot of rockfish filling the sacks and providing great taco meat for all of you. There's still some yellows around there, but they are not biting that well. The calico bass bite has slowed up. Every once in a while, pretty good bonito fishing going on there at Catalina Island, but a lot of rockfish right now. Nothing wrong with that. In the Channel Islands, we continue to see excellent rock fishing up there in that area with a few halibut and an occasional hit on the white sea bass. The Aloha Spirits had a pop or two on that here recently. We've seen other guys get a few halibut up there, but overall, it's mostly rockfish. Santa Barbara, good rock fishing up there. Verges in Morro Bay. Going albacore fishing this weekend, aren't you guys? Some private boater? Your fingers crossed for some albae up there, but it's all rockfish up there pretty much right now. Big lings and really big vermilions and great rockfish up there in that neck of the woods. And then up there in San Francisco, we are still catching bluefin tuna. And big ones, like 100-plus pound BFT, are biting in that 35 to 45-mile range offshore from the Golden Gate Bridge. Pretty wild, isn't it? There's still some excellent big bluefin tuna up there in NorCal. Guys have been taking advantage of it. And if you want to fish the rockfish, the lings, and also some excellent big halibut on occasion, some striped bass that still had been going on up there in that neck of the woods. October the 1st here in SoCal means you have to fish 300 feet or deeper for the rockfish right now. And I say you have to, it's because it's the regulation, but I love that, man. You're in the deep water. You know what that means? You're going to get those big denizens of the deep, those big old cod. Man, we had a trip on the El Patron fishing the west end of Catalina Island where we caught copious amounts of big cod. And then we had that trip out of Ventura sport fishing with Daniel Hadaway. Magnificent on the big deep water cod. So it's that time of year, everybody. And it's also lobster season, and several boats have been doing that. Gale Force is one of them. Trident is one of them. Several other guys. Don't forget, if you're a private boater and you need lobster gear, you're going to want to go to www.promarahi.com. Put in FA at checkout, and don't forget, you'll get 10% off when you do that. So the island situation, there you have that. Let's talk half day and 3/4 day, and guys that are fishing the SoCal coast down there in San Diego. That water is chilled down after a really great year on the local situation down there out of San Diego, where they're catching bass all year long. Calico bass, sand bass, good halibut, occasional white sea bass, some yellowtail flurries. Water's pretty cold right now. We're catching a lot of sculpin and rockfish. There's the occasional good bass score down there, and there's still some yellows, some forkies wandering around down there. It's mostly rockfish right now. Same thing at Dana Point, up there around Davies Locker, Newport Beach, here in SoCal, especially here in Long Beach, San Pedro, up into Redondo. Mostly rockfish right now, and it's been that way all season long. We never got a really good surface bite here locally this year. Hopefully next year is going to be a lot better. Hopefully we'll have some late season bass fishing going on here in SoCal. So That has been going on. And up there in Marina del Rey, we continue to see some decent bass fishing at night on the twilight trips. That has not been all that bad. Taking a look at our surf fishing by down to Big Fish Bait and Tackle and Seal Beach. I will send you right now. You go down there on the corner of Seal Beach Boulevard and PCH, and it's Southern California surf fishing headquarters. But don't let that fool you, because they've got everything you'll need from trout fishing to catching big bluefin tuna. They also are giving away a free custom surf fishing rod every single month. You just need to go in there and purchase the ruler you'll use to measure your catch, and then you're in every month for that great tournament. It has been fantastic. Rick Fuentes. Rick, good to see you out, my friend, catching a nice spotted bay bass. R.K. Toji, another great Friedman Adventures family member who spends a lot of time fishing this Southern California surf. He came up with a corvina and a barred perch. We're going to start seeing more barred perch, I think, with this water cooling down. And man, that is absolutely beautiful here this morning. Down around Huntington Beach, there's still some sand crabs around the pier. And it's, you know, one day pretty good, one day not so good on the surf bite here. We've been catching a few yellowfin croaker, occasional, very occasional corvina. There's a few halibut also on lucky crab lures, or throwing a little chrome jig of your choice. Those work really well. Same thing up there in Long Beach, seeing quite a bit of halibut up there. Santa Monica Bay, a few corvina starting to cool down up there also, barred perch and an occasional yellowfin croaker. But the surf bite has been okay. Nothing wrong with that. Don't forget, get a Friedman Adventures hat or shirt today by going to www.embroiderycreations.net. Also, I don't know if you heard, but last night we were discussing the possibility of a Christmas lunch or brunch, I guess I should say. Well, I'll let you know when we finalize it, but a Christmas cruise where we go out, you bring the family, and we go out and have an absolutely wonderful time together. We're putting that together. And thanks to everybody who continues to bring used tackle in so we can ship it down to Cedros. We literally have hundreds of bags of clothing. We have rods, reels, and so much more that we'll be sending down for the Christmas season to our brothers and sisters in Mexico. And you are the ones who make that happen with your kindness and your donations. It is so deeply appreciated. You want to drop some used tackle off? You can do it at Big Fish Bait and Tackle in Seal Beach, over there at Island Fishing Tackle in Carson, California. You can also go to Ventura, Eric's Tackle. Thank you, Eric, for all you're doing. Ventura Sport Fishing, Hook, Line, and Sinker in Santa Barbara, California. Tackle Express in Santa Clarita. And over in Bellflower, Young's Fishing Tackle, our dear friends over there. All of you, all those tackle stores, I can't thank you enough for all you do to make dreams come true. All right, my friends, are those bluefin going to bite? And have we talked the private boater into going and checking out Morro Bay? I hope so, because I think there might be an albacore swimming around there, lost, looking for a lure to bite, a trolled feather, or a bait in the water, or something else. Hopefully somebody will be able to do that. We're going to be watching everything for you very closely. I'll remind you all, go back and watch us in the chicken wing joint on Tackle Shop Confessions last night, and also the Danny Cadota show with special guest stars Mackie and Jolene Thompson. They both did an admirable job as always. Hope you're having a great day. It is gorgeous here. I see some surf fishermen over here. I might go check them out right now. And as always, I hope to see you really, really soon.